Welcome to Campfire Conversations. I'm Jeremy Litchfield. Before microphones and media, we had fire. It was the first circle and the first stage. It's where people gathered to connect. This podcast returns to that circle. These aren't interviews. They're heart-centered conversations where love and fear both have space to show up. Campfire Conversations is part of my Heartstrong adventure, a journey exploring where love and fear show up in our world, especially in the lives of men, and how freeing men from fear helps heal individuals, communities, and systems. These conversations aren't about providing answers. If anything, they bring up more questions. My hope is that what you hear makes you think differently, see things from a different angle, and maybe even sparks a conversation that leads to a breakthrough for you or someone you share it with. In this conversation, I'm sitting down with Briddge and Cherrie Orius. This is the first Campfire Conversation with a couple, and I think you'll hear why that matters. I met Briddge at the Returning Citizens Luncheon in Norfolk, Virginia last fall. We had maybe 10 minutes together, but we connected instantly over Ziggy Marley's Love is My Religion. Before we parted, Briddge recommended a book, Love by Leo Buscaglia. He told me it was the book that taught him the importance of loving himself. I read the book. It stirred up more questions than answers. At the end of our conversation, I asked Briddge and his wife Cherrie if they would sit down with me for a campfire conversation. This is that conversation. I need to tell you something about this episode. These conversations are designed to be perfectly imperfect, and this one lived up to that. My phone ran out of storage and stopped recording. We lost about 50 minutes of audio, one of the deepest conversations I've had on this adventure, and it wasn't captured. We regrouped, I cleared some space, and we picked it back up. What you're going to hear is the first 7 minutes that were captured. Then I'll come back in and share some of what we talked about during the part we lost, and then we'll return to the fire for 45 minutes of conversation. The audio is also not perfect in places. 3 people and 2 lapel mics around a fire. That's what happens when you have real conversations outside. What Briddge and Cherrie bring to this conversation is something I haven't experienced before. They don't just talk about love, they work it out, right there at the fire. They push back on each other. They disagree. They challenge each other's thinking a sentence after finishing each other's thoughts. We talk about how to define love, whether love is born in us or developed, what it means to lead with love when people are causing harm, and the role of energy, judgment, and forgiveness in how we show up in the world. If this work resonates with you, I would love your support. The best way to do that is to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with someone who might need to hear it. These conversations matter, and your support helps them reach more people. Now, let's go to the fire. Just want to, first of all, thank you, both of you, for taking time to sit down with some random dude that you met at the Returning Citizens Luncheon and said, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? After talking for maybe 15 minutes. So I just really appreciate this, the fact that it worked out that you're just right around the corner. So Briddge and Cherrie, just really appreciate you sitting down and talking.
No, thank you.
And I think, and I mentioned, it's like the whole thing is these conversations are designed to be imperfectly perfect, right? The smoke's going to get in our eyes. And I understand it's like, the sun's right there. It's perfect. It's like, so you're wearing sunglasses, and Briddge said, you don't like to do that. Totally understand.
No, let me correct this. Not that I don't like to do it. It's just, this guy is making me cry already.
Is that just some sort of an excuse so that when we get deep, you don't want to admit that you're
you know what? I take the challenge.
No.
I take
No,
the
please wear those
listen,
sunglasses.
I come prepared for you, so I have my listen. I come prepared. Yeah,
All
there
right.
you go.
I just want to be
make
clear.
it
You
real.
you can wear those sunglasses at any point.
Okay, cool.
So how I wanted to first start off by talking is, I think one of the things that struck me most when we were talking after Returning Citizens Luncheon is you and we started talking about love.
We got connected. That's why when you said just random guys in Malcolm, I don't think it's random at all.
No.
I truly believe that it was divine inspiration. We just to be bugged up with a very topic that we both have some kind of personal deep connection with, which is love.
Yeah.
What sparked the whole entire conversation. Got Cherrie involved, so it was meant to be.
Yes. And I love that I said, at one point I said to you, do you know Ziggy Marley?
Uh-huh.
And you said, of course, love is my religion.
Yeah.
And for both of you, when you think about this, love is my religion, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because it can mean a lot of different things. What does that mean to you? Love is my religion.
Ladies first.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of Ziggy because Ziggy's belief was that you can heal anything and you could actually heal through love. And I agree. Deeply connected, I believe love is the key and the basis of everything. And if you have that, no matter which way it goes, how wonky, it always comes back. So I agree. It's the base of everything.
If I were to borrow the saying of Leo Buscaglia, which is the book that I referred to,
Of course.
and I even put it here
I love it.
because this book, it serves another Bible. So love, just like it says in the, that's what exact life. So to me, if whatever you're doing, love is that part of it, and you can incorporate love, and love that reflect.
How do you actually define love? And I've been thinking a lot about this. Go a little bit. So I've had 2 group conversations where I've pulled a group of men together, and I'm doing more of these. One question I said is, how do you define love? And people had a really hard time defining actually what love is.
Mhm.
How do the 2 of you actually define love, knowing it's so central to your being and existence?
I look at it from a moral compass. I look at it from a conscious. I look at it from this eternal peace.
Yeah.
If I can put it that way.
Yeah.
But, and to be honest with you, I don't think there's a specific way to define it. It's like a feeling. You can't really define it, but you know it. It's like a connection. You can't really describe it. It's there. And with me, it's more like keep me going. That's the conscious. That's what makes me see you. It's a lens. It's a mirror.
Yeah.
It's the soul.
Yeah.
So I can't give you a definite answer.
Yeah.
From my perspective, but I know I can describe a different way for you to understand at least what I'm really talking about.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. It because it's so complicated. And here's the thing. English has one word for this concept of love, where ancient languages often had 6 to 8 words to describe the concept that we call love, right? Which makes it complicated.
I agree. I think the reason why people have a problem defining it is because we don't truly know. For me, myself, it's more of a positive or an understanding. It's an understanding. When I say that, I mean by how I feel or how I understand, hear for myself. If I love a person, I'm going to extend that. So it's kind of like a mutual.
That mirror.
Yeah. So
it's funny. A couple weeks ago, it's actually been longer than that. So I go to a Unitarian Universalist church. I don't know if you know much about UU.
Yeah.
And okay. I had one of these conversations with the minister from our congregation, and she's amazing. I asked her, how does she define love? And why? Because Unitarian Universalism is all grounded in centering love. Okay. Is what it's grounded in. So and she said, it's really hard. It's kind of like porn. You know it when you see it, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I think it's almost,
it's
the same thing. You know it when you feel it. And I've been thinking about the difference between what it means to loving versus leading with love. And I was like, because I've been thinking a lot about that, because love can be a noun, and in the sense of, and then it can be a verb in the sense of loving someone or loving something. And then this idea of leading with love. And when you hear that, what does that actually, what does that make you think? Do you see a difference between the idea of loving versus leading with love?
Yeah, I'm seeing more of this open-minded aspect.
Yeah.
Just like you said, I had a chance to serve as a program.
Where was it?
It was in Florida.
Okay.
I remember when I did that because I come from Christian background.
Yeah.
And when I got the job, outside of the job, I was reading the minister's bio, and the minister, which was a guy, he said that his husband. And then I'm like, did I read the bio wrong, or is that what it is?
Yeah.
But the minister happened, a gay minister.
Yep.
He served on the church with his husband. So when I accepted the job, it was very fascinating. but it was also an experience.
Yeah.
And then come to learn about this whole world religion. That's the basis of it. Kind of opened my mind with a whole different thing.
So that's where the audio cut off. What you just heard was about 7 minutes of conversation before my phone ran out of storage. What came next was about 50 minutes of some of the deepest conversation I've had on this adventure. I can't play it for you, but I can tell you what we talked about. We talked about expectations, how expectations for ourselves, for others, for how things should turn out, push us toward a fear-based way of being. Briddge said something that stuck with me, that love can't have expectations. You can put love out into the world, but if you're expecting something in return, that's not really love. Cherrie shared something about trauma that I kept thinking about. She said trauma is not the event we experience. Trauma is how we process it. And we don't always know whether something was good or bad because it may have made us stronger or better in ways we can't see yet. We talked about comfort and discomfort, how seeking comfort is often a fear-based response, and how doing hard things, leaning into discomfort, is a way of leading with love. Trusting that one way or another, there's going to be learning. It's going to make us better. And Briddge told a story about colors. He said, your color might be red and mine might be blue. And so much of what we do is try to make our colors yours. Instead of understanding what your color actually is, he said a rainbow is beautiful because of all the different colors. Without all of them, it wouldn't be a rainbow. And love is the same way. The diversity of it is what makes it messy, complicated, and beautiful. When we picked back up, Briddge and Cherrie were just as open and generous as they'd been from the start. The conversation went deeper into what love actually looks like in practice, how energy shapes everything around us, and what it takes to love people even when it's hard. Now, let's return to the fire. Here we are, just getting deep into an amazing conversation. And we're going to approach it because we just lost. I don't want to say we lost it because here's the thing. The first podcast that I did, I did it with a very good friend of mine. It ended up going 2 hours. Towards the end of it, we lost the last 10 minutes with my battery. And I was really concerned. He's like, if this conversation doesn't get fully captured, it's still worth it.
Right.
And I just want to recognize that the ability to sit down with the two of you and the conversation you just had was such an honor. And so we're going to make the best of a situation of what we just lost. We're going to pick up the conversation, try and recap what we just did. And it's just going to be a shorter conversation that gets released with the audio, but we're going to write a lot about it.
Okay.
Some of the things that we have discussed so far was love as a mirror, trauma as how you kind of it's more of a feeling in the processing of all this stuff.
Right, your response.
And so when you think about this conversation we've had, what's been, Cherrie, starting with you, that you said first.
Yeah. Okay.
What is kind of sticking in your mind right now?
Honestly, it's a much needed conversation on all aspects. It's one that needs to continue because it's something that we're all starving for, don't understand what it is, don't know what it is, or even really how to act in it. And I think the more we talk about it, the better it will help us.
And when you say we don't know what it is we're starving for, are you talking about
love?
Love. Do you think people have, and this is one of the things that when I read
Love.
You saw what I wrote is the book talks about learning to love. And I was like, no, if we need to learn to love, I have a belief that love inherently in us, we are born as loving.
Yeah.
And then life happens
And we're
and we have to
conditioned.
unlearn the things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so as we think about some of the things we have to unlearn to help us kind of actually recapture that feeling of love. Why is love even so scary? It's the most beautiful, imperfect, uncomfortable, comfortable thing there is. Stacking questions.
Well, let's go
Right.
back with fear. All right. We all know fear is a false appearance of things that appear to be real, but not necessarily. Is
And
that
we
right?
went back to, I love how we started about expectation.
Right.
Fear comes from expectations we put on
Exactly.
ourselves, on others, on our experience, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So by not having a proper understanding of love itself, you create that fear factor.
But not to cut you off, but I agree with Jeremy because, and I wrote a post about this, and I said, in today's society, we're always talking about boundaries and this and this and this and this, right? And it's because you said life has happened. Now we've been conditioned to limit this and limit that. But I believe I'm with you because we're born with love, real love, authentic love that's been given, that has not been conditioned, taught, whatever. All those so-called boundaries are already implied. If you truly love, that respect thing, implement. It's automatic because I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to disrespect myself if I love you. And wait a minute, hold up. We've learned these boundaries have to be set because we've now twisted and turned so many things because we don't understand love, and people have done things to us, and so much has happened. So now I have to put this boundary up because I have to stop you from hurting me. The Bible says guard your heart, yes, but at the same time with guarding your heart, true love comes with all of this in there. So it's if I'm making sense, it's like cracking an egg with no yolk, right? 9 times out of 10, where you gonna get an egg with no yolk in it, right? So this is my perspective. Is this something that I've come to after I've done my thoughts and processing and praying and whatever, and I come to understand that if someone truly loves you, and it's even in the commandments, you're not gonna hurt me. You're not gonna do those things that you would not want done to you. So those boundaries are already implied. But go ahead.
Because yes, we do have love within us, right? It's an internal thing, but that capacity within has to be developed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to grow into loving ourselves. And as you're growing to love yourself, you're also growing to love other people. That's what we talked about earlier. Love is also mirror, but love is also a choice. It's a choice you make. A loving person, love regardless. Whether you love me back or not, I'm still going to love because I choose to love. Even when we talk about leading with love, I choose to lead with love. I choose to lead with grace. That's a choice. Love is that conscious we talk about in the beginning. It's something that you have to be conscious about.
You said something in there that has me thinking. Love has to be developed.
Yes.
And here's it. Trying to find my words. This idea of goes back to the beginning where you were talking about love as a compass. And when I think of compass,
Yeah.
I love the analogies of compasses versus like maps or directions. Because with a compass, I'm navigating towards something.
Yeah.
I know that if I hit a mountain that I can't climb, compass will help me navigate around that.
Yeah.
But if the directions tell me I have to climb that mountain,
You have to climb that mountain.
I have to climb that mountain. And that's not always the right choice you need to make.
Right.
And so it's almost like, I guess where I'm going with this, it's like the idea of love as a practice, right? This idea of something you're always kind of, it's a practice that you have to continually do.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of a conversation I was having with some friends, of this idea of one of my friends had said, every time I leave the house, I say, I love you.
Mhm.
Even though I might be feeling love in that moment, I say, I love you to
You
my wife.
express it.
Right?
Right.
This is Frankie,
Hi, Frankie.
who is
It's Dapple. He's a Dapple Dotson.
she's new to the house. She just got really happy. She's very sweet.
Hello.
Part of saying I love you is part of the practice to remind you of being in a place of love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Because if we view love as a feeling,
Mhm.
feelings change.
Yeah, they do.
But if we view love as a practice, it's like when you talk about yoga is a practice, and you continually kind of learning lessons from it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so when you think about, because I struggle with the idea of learning to love.
Okay.
I don't know why. But I love the idea of unlearning things that are preventing us from loving, or
Releasing
actually
it.
viewing it as a practice.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm rambling.
No,
but
I
you're
agree
fine,
with you
you're fine.
because
But
I
here's
agree.
what's
It's an
confusing
innate.
about it.
It's an innate thing.
So, as much as we don't want to accept that love is a feeling, love is also a feeling, as much of a
is.
feeling as it is a choice. You feel love. Cherrie and I feel when she loves, she feels when I love her. But regardless of how I feel, or regardless of how she feels, we make that choice to love one another. It goes back to that same aspect of seeing love from a compass perspective. You
Right.
can be going in the wrong direction, but the destination does not change.
So
And
go ahead, Big.
love is going to allow you to find a different route versus that map or that GPS that says go in that direction.
Right.
Love is going to allow you to find another way. Okay, well, I can't really love her that way, but the fact that I'm making a choice to love her, I'm going to find another way to love her.
So if I may, and the fact that you said that,
you're coming out. You want
No,
to say
Yeah.
please.
I agree with Jeremy because I don't. For me, and I'm going to put this in a medical analogy. When you go to the doctor and you sick, you have a cold, right? So we're gonna use love as the cold,
at the fire diner.
and there you can go. So, but for me, the feeling is a symptom. So how it is when you go to the doctors always treat the symptoms. They don't actually treat the illness, right? So for me, when I'm using this analogy, love is the actual, for lack of better terms, illness. It's the cold. It is the actual thing.
Yeah.
Now, the feeling of love is a symptom. Just like if I don't feel love, it's a symptom. It's something that can change. It can go away. It can come. Jeremy was saying, right? So I agree to the fact that I believe those things are more the symptoms of love, but not, and they're tied to love. But true love or love is not a feeling. Because I said,
you feel it. I'm not saying it's
well, that's the
entirely a
symptom.
feeling.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the symptom of it. That's what I'm saying. When I put it in an analogy, I try to put an analogy of a cold or illness because that's the one thing, the biggest thing, where when you go to a doctor, you can have a cold. It's a virus, right? But what is the doctor going to treat you for? Do you have a headache? Do you have a runny nose? Do you have a cough? So I'm going to give you everything that treats the cough, suppresses the cough, stops the runny nose, and takes away the headache. But you could still have the virus.
When you were saying earlier about the respect,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's I can go the same way with the respect. Feel respect. You feel disrespect. You feel love. You don't feel love.
Well, that's why I said these are symptoms.
Well, but the symptoms it also play part of.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said, even with the cold, that's why I said, and that's why I was using it because that's why I was saying what Jeremy was saying. The feelings and all these things that can change, they're not continuous. They are the symptoms, but the love is always, love is going to be there. Love is what it is, right? It's not going to go. It's not going to change. It's love. But now the symptoms of love, that can dissipate. You can be
But if I
affectionate.
don't feel that love,
That's
it's gonna affect my choice to
Right.
continue to love.
But that's the symptom. That's what I'm saying. That's the symptom.
No, that's what I'm saying earlier. So both the feeling and the choice That's what makes the love thing complex, because you can't just look at it from the choice perspective. You also have to be mindful. Not only is the choice, but it's also a feeling.
So
It's also
you're
these things.
saying that you believe that honestly you can stop loving someone.
If I don't feel love, I can make another decision to stop loving
To stop loving me or stop
Or-
showing me
or
love.
stop being in love.
So this is, but here's the thing. Okay, so
Yeah,
you're getting where I'm going, right?
So, number one, this is what is so fascinating
Yeah.
about how complicated it is.
Yes.
Because here you have a
Hmm.
couple debating these things around. It's just-
Right.
but the idea of, I'm
And I
just
think that's why you wanted both of us to be.
I mean, it is, I honestly believe some of the most conversations is just to sit around and actually talk about love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And because it is a feeling.
Yeah.
And it is a way of being.
Mhm.
It's all these things. And it's so important. I have another friend who says, well, love is God and God is love.
Mhm.
Right? And all these things. All these things.
Right.
When you talk about this idea of, can you actually, and this is where I'm going, can you actually stop loving someone? This is where I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, that's why I correct myself. I say I
Yeah.
can stop growing in love with you. I can stop being in love.
But that's
Because-
saying that you can stop loving.
There's a big difference.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to, okay. So I where this is going because, okay, go please. Because I
And-
want to hear this.
Being in love, it's like we make that conscious decision for us to grow in love together. I'm
Okay.
going to find ways, regardless of how challenging it is, for me to continue to love you. And you're going to do the same. I loved you.
So and I'm gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
I know, but wait a minute. I'm gonna pose a question to what you said. So is it that you're gonna find a way to continue to love me, or to continue to show and display the symptoms or the actions of love?
As a loving person, I can't stop loving anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
But in the relationship, I can make the choice to stop growing in love.
On a romantic level, but you can't stop
it could-
loving me.
No, it can be on any kind of level. As far as loving the person, I'm still going to be a loving person. So therefore, I'm still going to have love for anybody.
That's
But
what I'm
whenever
saying.
we put it in a relationship where we put it in that framework, you can make it the same way you choose to have that type of relationship.
Right.
It's the same way you can stop that type of
Right, but that's what we're
But-
saying.
in its entirety. As a loving person,
You're gonna still love.
you're gonna still love.
I think this is an important thing to think about because love can mean a lot of different things. So I was writing about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And thinking about this. If I'm leading in love,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
do I have to love all people in all things?
Yes.
I think you can love all people in all things, but not in the same way.
I think
Just
the
like I was
context.
saying, the way I love Sherry and the way I love you, yeah, situation.
What I'm
I get what you're saying, Jeremy.
if I know there are people who are causing harm in the world to people that I love, or causing harm to groups of people, within those groups of people, I have a tremendous amount of love.
Yes.
How can I love them versus how can I come at them? How can I lead with love with them?
Okay. Now, I knew where he was going with this because I had a conversation about this. Yes. Because here's the thing: you may not what they do,
The action.
the actions, but the person is still the person.
There's still the humanity of the person.
Right. So yes, you still have to love them from a humanity or a human standpoint. You may not what they're doing to disapprove of it, but that's separate. That's a separate deal from that. And then I challenge anyone. Bless you. I challenge anyone that when you come across somebody who's doing those things, versus taking the defense or the judgment stance, that ask yourself, bless you.
Sorry.
You want to sit here?
I'm good.
Ask yourself what happened to them or what
so why?
makes them
Yes.
do that, because it's something. And that's the thing. As I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers, and I told her what we were talking about, and I was like, instead of looking at, well, I don't want you to do, I don't want you to do, but I need to ask myself why or what conditioned you to do that.
I think
Wait a minute.
I don't know what it is. I mean, come on, let's keep talking.
You about to use up your limits.
It's okay.
I think
No, I'm
that's,
just saying.
and this is, I think this brings us back to something Briddge said in the beginning of love is about openness,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And I was having this conversation with my wife this morning
Mhm.
because one of the things I do every Saturday morning, I go for a walk and I have a conversation with myself.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's a way of me checking. I literally
Check
talk to
in.
myself.
I'm with you.
It's that
And-
mirror act.
Yes.
Yes.
One of the things I was thinking about is what is that first domino to leading with love?
Yeah.
And for me, it was curiosity.
Okay.
And curiosity is a sense of being open to someone else's lived experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most important things to do is to be like, hey, there's some people I just disagree with.
Right.
And I want to despise them. I want to hate them
Right.
Yeah.
because that's easy.
It is.
It's easy. But it's a lot harder for me to actually try and understand their lived experience.
Right.
What is making them kind of behave in the way they are,
Right. What conditioned them? Yeah.
right? And I think, and that's where I've kind of struggled is, do I have to love them? And I think what you're saying is, as humans, I believe we're all,
Right.
when someone suffers, I suffer.
Yep.
And if I put hate out into the world, hate is what
Gonna
I'm
come
going to get in
return back.
return. It's the
Yeah,
mirror.
and I was
right?
gonna tell you that to answer your question. If you choose to be a loving person, if you choose to be a person that leads with love, you're gonna have to fall in love.
Well, that goes back to what we were just talking about. You'll never stop loving a person, but you may choose to stop showing certain symptoms of or actively displaying it. And I use this as an example. I don't know how in depth we go, but earlier this year, January this year. So just to put some background out there for me, when I talk about it before, I had an uncle from the time I was 5 to the time I almost entered high school that molested me. So, and the thing about it was, the whole time you're sitting up here, you're wondering why this. When I finally got to a certain place of understanding and healing and forgiveness, I was actually put face to face with this man.
I was there with you.
Wow.
Face to face with him. And because I had gotten to a point of understanding that he did what he did. But the thing about it is, I had to understand something happened to this person to even condition him to even do this. And so now I'm coming from a place of love. I honestly, my husband didn't even know it. I introduced him. I said, that's my uncle. I embraced him. took pictures with him. And later on, I explained to Briddge who it was and what happened. And he was like, how do you feel? And I was like, I'm okay, because the action I don't agree with, I don't approve of, it was wrong. But at the same time, the person I have to love. And then I even felt more love because I'm thinking you were only doing something that more than likely was done to you, because they say we're creatures of habit. So then I have to come from that standpoint. And when I come from that standpoint, it's okay, so who conditioned you this way? And I'm sorry that you were conditioned this way to hurt other people. So that's why when you ask that question, you have to love them. You have to love the human, not the hate. Yeah.
Because even themselves sometimes they don't even understand
Why they
why
do.
they.
No.
So
And
therefore, let's say for example, you hit somebody for not even knowing what they doing is wrong. Earlier we were talking about our four-legged stuff, right? And I told you there's one other being that teaches me about love is our dog. I used to be rough with him in the beginning because you nailed me, and I surely nailed the fight. You nailed me.
Yeah, right?
And then, but the funny thing about it, every morning when I come home, he still greet me the same way. And then every time he does that, it just makes me feel like super, super bad because he is the little guy. Last night I was rough with him, and then I opened the door this morning, and then he come to me and greet me the same way.
So,
Every morning, the same.
and it kind of touches on, what do you call it? The agape love.
Yeah.
We're not,
Please love never change. I'm telling you
right.
guys.
No, you're right.
I'm
Yeah, I know.
Put your sunglasses on, my friend.
And that's the thing. Animals are able to give that a God. They're able to give you that agape love, where we as humans, understanding because of different things, that's why we're not able to, because now I don't this, and then we start looking at the deed versus the person. Where the animal, they just see you. Whatever you did to them, it doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, of course, after a while, you keep doing it, they're gonna develop that fear.
But they're gonna still love you.
They're still gonna love you. It's just they're gonna be super, super protective because they know your reaction is not that pleasant. And with humans, it's the same thing. So we've been going through life, experiencing all those unpleasant situations, so we create a fear factor for us, or we learn from other people that's been exposed to these situations. So we learn from the experience, and then we take it to us, and we accept it as our truth, and then it create that fear factor in us where we can't really love open.
In some ways, it always, for me, it comes a little bit back to patience again. It's like, do animals, do dogs have patience?
At some point,
they do. I one thing I've learned, I said,
energy.
It is energy. It is energy.
Yeah.
But one thing I've learned, animals when they can become fearful of you, it's not that so much of fearful of you, it's a protection mode because something has been done to them, and I just want to make sure you don't hurt me or do this, right? Because it takes one person to make an animal fearful of all people, right? You see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's not more or less of you, it's what's been done to me. And that's the same thing right, those experiences. But the difference is with the animal, most animals, they still operate from that sense of love where I might be skittish, but I'm still gonna try. Where with humans, we get so caught up in the self thing, I'm not gonna try. I'm just gonna shut it down.
So I think you're both going to appreciate, you're going to appreciate this. And I would invite you to listen to it. The next podcast episode that I'm going to release is with this guy named Chris Lombard, who he's basically a horse whisperer.
Oh.
He works with people and their horses. And he's written a couple books and talked about his journey, his own personal journey, and how horses have helped. Amazing. And we've become friends because of the podcast. But anyway, one of the things he talks about with horses is quickly learned that when you approach horses with strong masculine energy, they're going to be He said, I had to learn to come at them with that passionate, caring, kind of feminine energy. And it goes back to kind of the energy and even things like this. When you think about love in general as almost, I'm starting to because it's just so energy source of it.
Right.
And we were talking about plants.
Right.
And other animals. I guess going. But how do we kind of manage that? If I'm in conversation with someone, one of the things that because to be honest, when I used to have someone who I disagreed with, who I thought just viewed the world the wrong way, my reaction was to urine.
That's most of us.
Right. And it wasn't productive. Right. And even if I'm not saying those words, my energy is projecting that.
Right.
They're feeling that.
Right.
have you thought much about the energy you're bringing into an environment? I have to imagine, especially with both the works you do.
Right. I recently actually changed my day job because of that. I was a supervisor at my job, and the team that I had, there's a lot of things that was going on, but it was more or less of I was getting burnt out between upper management and the team. I was getting burnt out, and my energy was not what it used to be, and my team was feeling that. And I took some time. I took time off, went on a whole mental hiatus and everything, and went into therapy because I'm getting burnt out. I'm bringing out negativity. Everything I was in a negative space. I told my husband, I said, I can't go back to that place because the energy there was negative and it was affecting me. So I am very conscious, and I went back to a different company that I worked for before, and I'm happy there. I'm the people that I work with, even I'm in the medical field, so the patients that I interact with. I had one patient when he first met me, your aura is beautiful. He was like, you're such a loving person. And he didn't know me. But that's generally what I get when people meet me for the first time. But I had got so poisoned from the negativity at my old job that I had to leave it because I started dumping negativity onto my team. So yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Nope,
Me personally, it was more when I'm alone, my energy is bad because I stay in a depressive state for so long. I don't do well alone. But when I find people, because I learned to value people so much, my energy with people is super bright. If you interact with me, you think I'm this coolest dude, great vibe. But when you leave, I'm by myself. It's a struggle. So energy is very important. And as I get to understand my state first, because I didn't even understand my own depressive state. When I get to understand that, again, with that learned helplessness, I understand, okay, my condition. Now I start making those shifts. And that's why it's very important in your growing in love with other people, you have to check yourself. That thing you do every Saturday, that's very important because it keeps you on alignment. Understand who you are, understand your core values, understand exactly what you're trying to bring to the world is very important for you to make an impact. So energy now, it's different. Now my energy is super better compared to how it used to prior to me understanding it. So that's what helped me in love. I keep it to the forefront, and I tell people all the time, you empower me, and I have to give you so I can have. And the more I put the focus on other people, Cherrie, for example, yes, she's my challenge, but she is helping by me constantly thriving to love her better, keep me in check. I can't let my energy on my own go low because I won't be able to keep her in. You see what I'm saying? So it goes back to that same mirror aspect. And it goes back to that saying in the Christian faith, you got to love your neighbor, you love yourself. Energy, again, what you put out, you're going to get it back. But you have to be mindful of what you want to put out. So the first work has to be done to you first.
I love, because everything, the whole conversation, including the conversation you lost, it's circling back to the sense of the energy you put out is the energy you get. What you carry and spill is in the mirror. So as we think about kind of bringing the conversation to a close, one question I always ask, one of the reasons why I love doing around these fires is the fire takes time, right?
Yeah.
It can be hard to tend because the wind, the smoke. We're all going to smell a nice fresh fire. I love it.
Embers smell good. Burnt embers, I love them.
But think about the fires we need to tend in ourselves, in our community, and others. Given where we are right now, what do you think are the fires people need? You need the two of you. What fires do you need yourselves? What fires do we need to tend to each other? We're at this point now where everyone agrees we're in a crazy time. We don't agree on a lot, but we all agree we're in a crazy time. So What are the fires we need to start tending to create the healing we need?
Can I quote something real quick? So I'm a person, and I'll tell everybody, I pull from, I can watch a movie and I can pull a lesson, right? So that's why I'm always quoting different stuff. But this is actually true. So Einstein, right? Yes, his most famous quote, or one of them, he said that. Hold on. He said that he's afraid that we're living in a time where feels as though our technology has surpassed our humanity, right? So that being said, and I think I was talking to my husband, said it has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. And one thing about Einstein that I liked, Einstein always talked about how you keep humanity was pretty much tied to your imagination, right? I think for us, we have gotten in a world that's so, I don't want to say tech driven, but it's so materialistically driven. All those things that go around the aspirations of excelling and being this person and everything. We've lost the basis of humanity. We definitely lost the art of communication. We no longer listen to understand. We listen to defend.
Or we respond.
Right. It's like everything is, I'm going to hear enough of what you're saying just to come back and fire off and prove my point, versus if I'm telling you what you're doing is hurting me and I'm trying to explain to you why, or I'm just telling you that, instead of saying, okay, hold up, I caught this. Can you tell me how I'm hurting you, or how this is hurting you, or what about this? We're quick to go, well, that's a problem with you. So we've gotten self-evolved, and that's in marriages, platonic friendships, and just in the world, period. I think one of the biggest fires is that if we can focus on the selfish part of it, that's a start.
I had a session with Gary Chappelle. He used to be one of the CEO of Knitting, I think, called Media, something. It is a great mentor. And I had a session. And then I learned one of the most important things: stop judging. And I think right now we are at a state where everybody puts up wrong with everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where we miss out on this love thing that we're talking about. Because there's no love when there's judgment. And we move away from doing anything with grace.
Mm-hmm.
Because we more of showing that this or that.
Yeah.
And we lost that entire connection. One thing I love about when you started this, you said that I wanted to connect. You could have done this via Zoom. We could have done this a billion ways. We could have, you sent us question and then we answer. But at the end of the day, it would not have been as authentic as this. We just create an experience. An experience. You take it with you, I've taken it with me, Cherrie's taking it, and we get to reflect on this. Yes, some people's gonna watch this online. But if more of us have this kind of connection where we connect with it, man, I can't remember the last time I was exposed to smoke. Yes, I'm crying because of the smoke, but at the same time, it's an experience.
It is.
And that's what love allows us to do. Allow us to have this kind of experience that makes us feel human. Human is all about it. One thing I want to read real quick is in the book. Man has no choice but to love. For when he does not, he finds his alternatives lie in loneliness, destruction, and despair. And what is going on right now? Destruction, despair, and loneliness. And the reason is very simple. No love.
Or not enough love.
Closing thoughts and words. Number one, this conversation right here reminded and re-energized the importance of what I'm doing, right? Because this idea of kind of exploring love, it's like, it just re-energized. So thank you.
Thank you.
The other thing is my wife Beck and I need to have a gift. Because I'm like, oh my gosh. Kind of like, so much fun. So cool.
Thank
Can we be
Family.
friends?
Yeah, all right.
family
Yeah.
on there, so.
And I can still remember that brief exchange we had. There is sometimes you meet people and you feel comfortable and you feel a connection. You don't know what it is yet, but it's like, hey, I want to sit down and I want to talk. And so I so appreciate you willing to do this. And the one hope that I have is that this just becomes a new friendship that we tend and rekindle. And every time that I'm down here, I can guarantee you one thing: you're gonna hear.
Next time we need to go to bed.
Maine is beautiful.
Oh, because I want you to take. Because listen, I checked out your website and I see all this cool stuff you do. It's been one of my goals to take Cherrie on one of those wilderness trips that you organize. So fill me in. I'll make a priority. We come to bed.
So one of the things that I used to. So you'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
I had one of the things I did. I called WILD, Wilderness Immersion Leadership Development.
Oh.
Makes sense. Wild, right?
Uh-huh.
And these are kind of these wilderness retreats. I recently rebranded that. Wilderness Immersion Love.
I like that.
So how do we continually find ways to unlock and enable us to kind of discover? Because I think that's a continual process. Right?
It is.
It is.
It is.
Love is a growing thing, and it's obviously. I mean,
Well, it's healing.
Yeah.
It's something that it's a lifelong process.
absolutely.
It's something that you're going to be doing as long as you have breath in your lungs. So
Every single person challenges you to tap into a different level of love.
And that's such a great, because there's so many people in the world
Exactly.
right now who are challenging me, and there's no doubt I am challenging so many people in the world,
And challenge is a good thing, not a bad thing.
and it's challenging us to find the love. Find the love in every situation.
You said something. I know we wrap things up, but you said something back in the days. Somebody run through something and you're full responding. I learned from one of my mentors in the financial business. If somebody can challenge, that means you get exposed to an opportunity. In recovery, I learned that if somebody gets you out of the character, that person is bigger.
well, and
Therefore, every challenge is an opportunity
it is.
for you to grow.
And they say the very thing that irritates you about someone else is actually a reflection of something within you.
The mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you too. Love
As
you
well.
both. This is going to be fun to listen back on. I'm a little sad we missed some of our conversation.
okay.
But
So
we
that
made up
means
for
we
it.
have to have another conversation. That's
Yeah.
what it meant.